So welcome everyone, I'm Steve Konish, a solution architect at Red Hat, and today I'm going to go over Podman AI Lab with a demonstration. So before I get started, let me give you a brief overview of what you're going to see. I'm going to use Podman AI Lab to build, deploy 100% open source, containerized large language models, aka LLMs, and applications. So let's get started. For starters, a data science team and/or DevOps will leverage tools such as Podman Desktop with the Podman AI plugin. And incidentally, Podman Desktop is one of the most downloaded pieces of Red Hat software and widely popular. And they'll use it to quickly provision a containerized Streamlit application, an IBM Granite LLM, with the Red Hat Universal Base Image container. The Red Hat Universal Base Image is the foundation of each container, supplying pre-built RHEL packages and libraries that are frequently updated. I'll deploy 3 containers. The first container is the infrastructure container. The second container, containing the Llama server and the IBM Granite LLM. And a third container with the Streamlit chatbot or summarizer application. These containers are built from the Quay Container Registry. Once the containers are initialized, an end user such as customer care can interface with the containers via the web browser. When using the chatbot application, I will demonstrate a generic query as well as a guardrail query that the model isn't permitted to answer. I'll also show how GPU offload may be set. It's important to emphasize that 100% of the execution is done within this environment, with no reach back to other AI tools, engines, or APIs. This is easily shown, by the way, by bringing down the local network interface, thus preventing internet access. So let's get started with the demo. Okay, so here we have Podman Desktop, and I'm running this on top of Red Hat Enterprise Linux 9.4. And you can see real quick, we're starting off at the main dashboard here. And if I go to these different menus, I can scroll down to extensions. And if I go to the catalog, you can see that Podman AI Lab is available, but it's already installed, as said here. And once I install that with just a single mouse click, I end up with this additional AI Lab button on the far left. So if I go ahead and click that, I can look at the catalog of models. I could also see a recipes catalog for different applications that I can run with these models. And I could also look and see if I have any of the models running. So the way to get a model running is you can go to the individual list of models, and there's many of them listed. You could go ahead and click it to run it, and then once it's running, if you go to the running tab, you'll see different models running. I'm running 2 different versions, well, of the Granite model with 2 different applications. One is a chatbot and one is a summarizer. Now, once those are actually running, you can click this tab, the up arrow, to run the associated application with that model. Now in my case, I've already done it, so I'll just go ahead and bring up the Firefox browser so you can see it. And you'll see here that one of them is the chatbot window. And you can see it's just running a local host here. There's nothing fancy. It's on port 35487. And the first thing I did was, it says, how can I help you? So I just said, here's a simple question. How many days does milk last? And in preparation for this demo, I asked the same question. So it's going to tell me that I've asked this question already, which is kind of funny. It says, it seems like there's a slight misunderstanding. I apologize for any confusion. You asked this question already, kind of thing. But anyway, it gives me the shelf life of milk, for example. But then I also moved on to a more personal question. So I'm not a Dallas Cowboys fan, but I figured I'd ask it somebody well known. So I asked a question about Jerry Jones, and I asked him how old he is. And you'll notice that it's actually a guardrailed model, so it doesn't answer questions that have personal information about individuals, and that's kind of a cool trait. Now, if I switch to the other application, again, if I go back to here and I try to run the summarizer application, I just click Open AI app at that model, and that will open up yet another application that is browser based. And what I did was I dragged in my biography into you simply just click on Browse Files, and then look at different files that you can open. I'm going to go ahead and cancel it because I've already parsed my biography file. And then what it does is it processes that data over time, and then it gives you the highlights of my LinkedIn profile, things like that. And then at the very bottom, which I find the most interesting, is it'll give you an evaluation score for that summary, like how confident it is about that summary. So in this case, it's 0.6, basically 70%. So that's interesting. Anyway, so let's take a break here now and look at the individual containers. Okay, I knocked it down to just one application running so we can better inspect the containers. So first thing is, let's go ahead and look at the different containers running. Just using the Podman PS command. So you'll notice we have 3 containers running. The first one is the infrastructure container. The second one here is the application container. And the third one is actually the model server, the Llama CPP server. So let's go ahead and inspect the latter two. So in order to do that, we'll use the podman exec command. So we'll run podman exec, -ti, and then we'll pump in, we're going to start with the server, and we'll use that ID, and then we'll use bin bash. Okay, so now we're connected to the Llama CPP server, and let's go ahead and run a few commands. The first one is ps-cf. Let's see what's running inside the container. Okay, so here we can see, let me just move this window over here so you can see what we're actually running. It's just a simple command. It's a Python command to run the server with the Granite model on the local host. So let's go ahead and check out some more stuff. Let's do an ls. And now let's go ahead and see what other options are available. So I'm going to do a cat run.sh, and I'm going to pipe that to grep and just search for the Python command so we don't have to look at all the output. Now what's really neat about that is it shows us all the possibilities for this Python command. But let me go ahead and move it over a little bit, because one of the things you'll see is the GPU layer. So if I had a GPU in my server, I could offload that pretty easily just by using that additional argument into this server, which is really cool. Now, the other thing we can do is actually look and find or locate the model. So we'll do an ls-als. Actually, let me clear the screen so you can see it better. So do an ls-als/gran, and we'll go ahead and look at that, and there it is. There's the Granite model. It's the 7B that we're using with the summarizer, and it's about 4 gig. So it's a pretty sizable file that we have locally within this container. So now let's go ahead and get out of the model and the server container, and let's go back and do podman ps-a, type to grab up, and let's go ahead and now enter the actual application container, which is this one. So once again we'll do podman exec-ti, pass in that ID, and /bin/bash. Now we're inside the application container, which is the text summarizer. And for that, we're going to go ahead and do a ps-ef. And you can see if I move the window over that we're actually running the summarizer application. And you can see the paths they're located at, and you can also see that it's a Python application. And that's that. So hopefully that gave you some insight into these different containers and what's actually running within them. So that concludes this demonstration. Thanks for watching. Please give me a thumbs up and subscribe.